Hello everybody, myself and Leanna are going to take out the Honda CB650r, hello, and the Hornet 750, and here they are. Say hello, Leanna.
Hello, Rutty.
Make sure I don't get run over. And there they are, and there's my shadow, hello. Right, let's go for a play. I'm going to have to turn this quick shifter off. It's annoying me. So when you take pride in your riding and want to do a smooth gear change, you preload and it changes. Don't want that. I want to change when I want to change, rather than bang, bang, bang. Okay. Shift point, don't need that. Self-cancelling turn indicators.
Yeah, let's turn them off.
Turn them off.
I hate self-cancelling indicators, especially when you're on big roundabouts.
Trip auto reset. Riding mode is all good. Quick shifter, shift point we don't need if it's not a quick shifter. Oh yeah, okay, gives you the revs. Okay, so we've just pulled in at the petrol station because I like to do smooth gear changes with preloading, and it's got the quick shifter on, so I've turned that off. What else have I turned off, Leanna? All self-cancelling indicators. If you're on a big fast dual carriageway road and you want to turn right at a big roundabout or something, the chances are these will turn themselves off before you get to the roundabout. So those aids are off now. I'm in sport mode, and you've got the P, the EB and the T. T is traction control, so P is power, EB is electronic braking. There is a user mode on these as well if you wanted to, just there where you can start changing the power and electronic braking and traction and everything. I'll just keep it in sport for now, I'm quite happy with that. And at the bottom you can change your display as well.
The electronic braking is your engine braking. It's the amount that it delivers engine braking. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure what the EB was.
Okay, so you can change how much it engine brakes, which is very clever. So you can engine brake differently.
Yeah, within the modes are preset, so it's three
Okay.
different preset engine braking amounts as the same for your power and your traction control within those modes.
Nice. You were saying that the bars on these are a lot narrower than they are on the 650 as well.
Definitely looks a lot narrower. I reckon that's why it's so nimble.
Yes.
That's definitely more nimble than the 650R.
Really is nice as well for slow speed. I'll just take it round in a bit of a U-turn and just show you what the balance is like on it. It's got a really nice balance to it. I'm really
Very
happy
good.
with it. Okay, so shall we go for a play?
Yeah.
There's a load of poke on this, it's lovely. So we're going towards Gotham, or Gotham as you Batman fans will know. As I said before, the only thing I'd like on this is I'd love there to be a cruise control, but you wouldn't necessarily expect that at this sort of price range. But what I'd do is I'd quite happily swap the quick shifter for a cruise control.
Yes, it'd be nice as an option, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But the fuel mapping at 28, 29, 30, I'm happy with that, that's really nice. With that Tracer 900 I originally rode, the 15 plate, was almost unrideable, it was horrible.
Don't even notice the fuel injection mapping on the 650R. It's so smooth in any gear at any point.
Yes. And it pulls nicely in any gear as well, doesn't it?
It does.
As does this one.
I always think this bike makes you think you're going faster than you are because it's quite noisy. So if you're
Yes.
using second gear, for example, to get up to speed, you really do need to make quite a lot of noise to get there. But it does get up to speed quite nicely. It just feels like you're riding a little bit like a hooligan.
Just short shifted 2 gears there, first to third. So we're now in Gotham. Na 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 na. Roadworks. Just love how light the gearboxes are on both these bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, this doesn't have heated grips either, does it?
No. I don't know whether they come as an option. I would assume they do, don't they?
I'd like to think so, but having said that, this is the top of the range model.
That's what I was just thinking.
But for 60 quid, you can bang a pair of Oxfords on, can't you?
Yeah. Which is what we've done with these ones.
It drops into corners beautifully. It's so quick handling. It's almost like the front tyre is overinflated, but no, it's not.
See, I find the 650R very easy to ride in the bends, but
Yes.
I'll be interested to jump from this one onto that one for a direct comparison. I really do like the CB650R,
Yeah.
and there's a really good reason we use it as a training bike. Some people have said the seat's too firm. I actually find the seat's really comfortable.
You get used to it. It's like my Tuono had a plank for a seat, but I got used to it.
Yeah, I found that the Hornet seat felt harder to me when I sat on it. But it's to do with your bottom adjusting to the seat you're sitting on most of the time, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I'm much happier without the quick shifter. That preloading makes the gear changing so much smoother. Have a bit of a rough play on the thing, then the quick shifter will do the job and it's fun. But if you want to ride really, really smoothly, then I'd switch it off.
I think the CB650R comes with an optional quick shifter.
Does it?
I believe so. I'm sure I read that on one of the other review sites, but I'd have to confirm it.
Okay.
I don't think it needs one. It's so easy to change gear on this bike. I feel that it is nimble for your roundabouts and your bends. It's quite easy to change direction.
Yeah, as is this. I wonder if they're using a similar geometry. Because this really does flick around like a 125.
It's quite easy to hit neutral on the CB650Rs if you don't preload. If you do preload, you'll very rarely hit neutral. Neutral feels like a massive void in between first and second on this bike.
Yeah, where it doesn't on the Hornet.
No.
But yeah, it is a big neutral on the CB.
Yep. It's funny, when I change gear with the preload on this, I always imagine it's like biting a biscuit. It's that easy to change gear. It just goes nom, nom.
Yeah, it's very slick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very crisp.
Just taking a little bite out of a biscuit. I suspect nobody else has likened gear changes to biting biscuits before, but that's
38
how I
years
see it.
instructing, that's the first for me.
It's weird, isn't it?
Okay, it has a Bourbon gearbox.
Yep. And I was thinking of digestives.
Oh, okay, sorry. Stupid me. Well, I'm in fourth at 38. You can just feel a bit of vibration through the pegs and the bars. It's more than acceptable.
I'm in sixth at 39 and there's no vibration. Maybe the tiniest little buzz in the handlebars, but
Yes.
only very slight.
Quite addictive with that extra can on as well.
Yes.
Is it an SC can or something? Honda are in association with them.
Yep.
And it sounds really nice, but without being barky or aggressive.
Yep.
Let's enjoy. Slightly dampened dirty roads.
They were quite bad last time, weren't they?
Went out of shape a little bit there over the bumps.
Yeah, this one didn't. There's definitely a difference between the suspension. I think the 650R is a bit more planted than that one from the Hornet.
This suspension is just a little bit firm. I did notice it wasn't too happy then. Yeah, it's a little bit bone shaky at the moment. Oh dear me.
Whereas this just rode that bump fine.
Yeah, I purposely went over the manhole covers at this speed for that reason. And
yeah,
that wasn't brilliant.
Is your spine a bit shorter now?
I'm now 5'6".
Yeah.
2 gears will do me there. And again, oh Jesus.
Yeah, this one went a little bit out of shape on that one. That was quite a big bump.
Yeah. The clutchless gear changing on this is still really slick,
Yep.
which I often do at the higher speeds, so it's good.
Ooh, are you trail braking?
No. Why is the brake light on?
It looked like it was.
I don't
yeah,
trail
yeah,
brake.
it was.
Yeah?
It was on until you.
There.
It's on. Yeah.
That's really sensitive then.
Obviously, had your foot on it.
No, I'd covered it, but
That was
wasn't
funny.
using it. Are you trail braking, Russ? How very dare you? No, I didn't need to trail brake because I'd already assessed the severity of the bend.
Hilarious. See, if there's any bike that I want to go over bumps on, it's this one.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy going over the bumps on this because it's so nicely balanced. There's certain things I don't like about this bike, but I think that's because I don't like inline fours particularly. I don't think it's this bike, I just think that I don't like high revving bikes.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to get up to speed without hearing it go in my ear holes.
That's the thing about the fours. You feel like you're over revving them,
Yeah,
especially when it's as it pulls as well as that does in lower, higher gears.
yep.
I'm still only in 5th gear on this. It quite likes this gear at this speed.
Yeah.
So 33rd, 44th, 55th. Let's pull over in a minute and have a look and see if this suspension is adjustable.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
was
the front is, but that was too harsh for
yes.
opening it up.
That's how I felt last time. Definitely wanted to adjust it.
Let's just pull him. Car's behind us. Just going to have a look at the suspension.
Okie dokie. Best view of the day.
Check it out. Yeah, it looks like it's only got the basic suspension on it, the basic spring adjuster, and that's it. And again, I suppose if it had shower and stuff, it'd be another 500 quid, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right.
So the most mod cons you get on the CB650r is traction control and ABS. There's no rider modes. There's no snazzy self-cancelling indicators. It's a nice basic bike,
Yes.
but a basic bike that rides very, very nicely. I like the fact that it has the standard switch gear with the indicator button below the horn with a lovely big horn button.
Yeah, this is quite cluttered, is probably the best way to describe it.
I think it's because you've got all those extra buttons though. You've got your modes.
Well, the horn's tiny,
Yes.
the horn button, but at least it's accessible.
It's interesting though, because if you say that's got just sort of a standard suspension on it, so the Hornet has, I don't think this has anything more special than your standard suspension on the rear.
Mm-hmm.
It's got your upside down forks on the front, similar to the Hornet.
It's obviously just damped softer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is feeling quite harsh over these bumps.
On the Honda CB650r, the wind blast is very comfortable. Can't really feel much at all.
Yeah, it feels quite nice on this as well, the wind blast. It's very smooth. I'm still in 3rd gear. Alright, I'll go to 4th. You certainly can feel that you're getting more out of this, and you don't have to change gears too often. But
Yeah.
the 650 seems to moan, even though it's not high revs. It makes you think it is.
For me, it's just that it tends to be smoother in the higher gears. If you're in the lower gears at the lower speeds, it tends to be more on and off with the throttle. Whereas if you get yourself into the higher gears, it's just smooth to roll on and roll off. However, you then don't have much engine braking, so if you're slowing yourself down, you do need to bring yourself down through the gears or significantly use the brakes to take that speed off. Doesn't have as much engine braking as I like, but that's because I prefer twin engines.
See, I'm still in fourth at 62 and the bike feels nice. It's about halfway through its rev range. Where I'd struggle to feel fourth in 62 on the CB.
Yeah. So easy to bring your speed right down but not have to stop.
Yes.
Some bikes feel like they're going to overbalance, don't they?
Yeah, these are very well balanced.
The CB650r is handling these bumps quite nicely, whereas I imagine you're being a little bit jarred by it.
This is not too bad actually. It's on even road surfaces, it seems to be taking it not too badly.
That's good.
It's I think it's when it's quite a serious road surface it can't seem to keep up. Yeah, that was a little bit jolty. Bad road surface here.
Hello.
That tickled my feet though.
I think this one definitely wins the rev bombing.
My tickly feet.
Love them.
My arms are in the way on these a little bit. Half of the mirrors are being obscured.
I wonder if that's because the handlebars are narrower.
Yeah, that would make sense, you clever lady.
Because we tend to find that with the students, the bigger students are better off on the CB650s compared to the MT-07s, for example.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's not just the shape of the mirrors, but it's the width of the handlebars. What a nice road. Even these bumps, this is dealing with really well.
Yeah, this is dealing with these bumps okay. It's a little harsh.
It's a little boingy for me.
Okay. Mine's on the jolty side.
No, this is boingy, it's quite nice. I think I prefer my suspension a little softer. I can see what they mean about it being not quite as nimble at the higher speeds.
Yeah?
Sometimes if you're doing a left bend followed by a right bend or a right followed by a left, it's a little bit lazy to get into the second bend.
Okay.
You're kind of waiting a little bit after your input for it to move over.
So it feels heavy then?
Yeah, a little bit. At the higher speeds. When at the lower speeds you don't notice it at all.
Such an easy bike to ride.
I remember thinking that last time.
That's got heated grips. Just doing a swap now, everybody. So Leanna's going to be taking the lovely Hornet with the SC Project exhaust, and I'm going to be on the lovely CB650r that we use for training.
Beautiful bikes.
Yes.
Learners certainly love them, don't they?
Yeah. Well, how many have we sold based on them riding these for the tests?
Upwards of 20.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
And a couple of Hornets as well already.
I know, I think it's got to be 3 or 4. It's great news. You do feel the weight when you're pushing these though.
Yes.
The CB650r is a little bit heavier, and you really do feel the difference. Because I'm a gentleman, I'm going to move the bike back for the lovely Leanna.
Only because I'm still faffing getting my gloves ready.
I'm trying to pretend that I'm not struggling with the weight. Yeah, no problem. That snapping sound you hear aren't my tendons.
They're very different in their looks, aren't they, the Hornet versus the CB650?
Yeah, I think the Hornet looks a bit more aggressive. Looks a bit more attacky.
Yeah, I think the 650 is more retro, isn't it?
Yes, I'd go with that. Oh, heated grips. Get my gloves on too. That does sound nice. Right, let's get mine on. That dash is a bit brighter than I remember it being actually. Unless it's the 500 that's quite dark.
No, they're very similar, the 500 and the 650.
Okay.
Right, shall I take the lead this time?
Yes. I do like the fact that even within the first few seconds of riding these, you feel like you've owned them for a while.
Yeah, lovely. We are good. A little bit of
Very
gravel
easy
there.
to get into. Obviously the 650R is a bit revier, isn't it?
Yeah, this is definitely a twin.
It'll be interesting to feel the
Oh, that is
suspension
it.
differences on these roads now. Oh, straight away you can feel
I know.
the suspension on this R is so much smoother and softer.
Isn't it? I know. Yeah. This is definitely a bit more woof
Yeah,
over the
it's
bumps.
definitely harsher. This,
Lovely though.
yeah, it is. It's really nice. It's definitely more fun. With the 650R, it just seems more refined. I've said it before, but the Hornet's like a happy puppy. Yeah, it's definitely got more low down grunt than the 650R. The Hornet has. Yeah, it's really funny. I'm now in 6th gear at 54 on this, and it seems buzzy and happy.
I'm in 5th and it's fine.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It feels different, doesn't it? If you put
Yeah.
yours in 6th now, it doesn't feel quite so happy. But the Hornet likes 4th and 5th gears. This one seems to hold its line a little better.
This is very flicky, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. You use this the tiniest input on the handlebars, it moves, whereas on that one it does take a little bit more to move it, which is probably why it's holding its line better. This feels more like a toy bike.
yes. Yeah, it's like the teenage version of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 650R seems a bit more refined, if that makes sense.
But they are two very different bikes.
Yes, they are.
You're not going to get refinement necessarily from a thumpy twin. Which is quite fun to ride. It's got a lot more grunt in the gears.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, when I've got it in 4th or 5th at 50 miles an hour, I can feel more buzzing through the pegs on this one. That's probably why I prefer to have it in top gear. It's very buzzy.
I don't think it is very buzzy, isn't that weird?
Yes. Now I'm feeling the vibrations now at 4,500 revs. Feeling the buzziness through the bars and the seat. It's making me man bits giggle.
Oh dear. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, you don't want my man bits giggling. Yeah, this bike's definitely woofier. Woof woof.
Which is weird because to me, when you ride the CB650, or sorry, when I ride the CB650, I feel like it makes me want to ride more like a hooligan than this one does.
Really? I'm the other way around. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
But I think I go back to it being the sound of the bike. The twin engine doesn't sound like a hooligan's bike to me.
Really?
It's not got it's not got a stupidly loud exhaust on it.
Well, the standard exhaust on this sounds fruity.
Yes, it's a nice exhaust. Definitely more wind blast on this one. It's only marginal, there's not much, but there's a little bit more than there is on the CB650.
Okay.
I like the riding position on the Hornet, but I also like the riding position on the CB650.
Yes, agreed. Both
This is
really
like-
nice.
This is slightly more sporty with your feet a little bit higher up and further back. But the handlebars are in a good position. In fact, if anything, they're a little bit better on the Hornet for me, because I'm
Yeah.
a little closer to the handlebars. On the 650, they're a tiny weeny bit far away, but not much. Not enough to make me worry about it.
Yes. There's a lot of roll on this one. It hasn't got the engine braking that the Hornet has, but then again, that's
No.
'cause it's a 4.
Yeah. If you're not smooth with the throttle, it is a little bit, whoops, I'm off
Yeah,
again.
because it's in sport mode. I was thinking that earlier on, you know.
Yeah.
If you wanted it to be smoother on the throttle, you could just knock it back into standard mode.
Yeah.
And I think it'd give you plenty of power. In fact, if you want to try that when you're on the next straight, just hit your mode button a few times to standard and close your throttle off. It's dead easy to change.
Yeah, we're in.
It's so quick and easy, isn't it? So just see how that feels on the delivery now.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, it's very sharp on sport.
It just goes to show how you can get into bad habits when you ride bikes like the CB650r, because they're so easy to ride and they're
Yep.
so smooth
Yeah.
that you get onto a bike that's then going to show up your bad habits.
Yeah, it's true.
Takes a little bit of adjustment when you go from one to another.
Yes.
I feel like I'm sitting a little taller on this. I know it's not much taller, but I feel like I'm more upright.
Yeah, I think the seat to peg position as well, it's a bit sportier on the 650R. I feel like my legs are bent a little bit more on this one. Not a lot, they're very similar.
No. It's not very happy at 23 miles an hour in third gear. It's a bit on-y-off-y with the fuel. In standard it's going
Well, I'm now in third gear at 23. It's lovely. So maybe the fuel mapping on this one's slightly better than the Hornet.
Yeah, this one's not so happy at 22, 23 miles an hour in third gear. I'm not changing anything.
No. I'm getting a bit more hand ache on this bike than I do on the Hornet. might just be the angle of the throttle, I don't know, but it's holding my hand in such a way I'm getting a bit of pins and needles in my fingers.
Quite a few of the students say that, you know.
Okay.
Probably about, well, not a few then. A few of the students say that. Maybe 1 in 20 will come back and say my hand's really numb.
Okay.
But I don't know why.
I think
It's fine for me.
I think it's the angle for certain people's hands, because this is holding it in such a position where I am getting a bit pins and needles now, where the Hornet didn't do it for me.
Weird.
So I'd say riding position for distance, the Hornet's better.
Yeah, this is definitely easier in terms of handling.
I'm finding the 650 a bit more neutral though, where that's very light and flickable.
Yes.
This one just seems more grown up.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a pattern emerging here, isn't there?
Yes.
It's one of those bikes where you can't just take somebody's word for it which one they'll choose,
No.
because for comfort and ease I'd go for this, but for fun I'd go for the Hornet.
Yeah, I'd like to have a combination of the two. I'd like to ride the CB650R in town, and I'd like to ride this one in the countryside but have the CB650R suspension.
Yeah, riding these back to back certainly does show up the good and bad points of each one, doesn't it?
Yeah, shows them up to be very different bikes.
Wouldn't be unhappy with either of them really.
No.
They're both fantastic bikes. This is actually quite uncomfortable. The Hornet's definitely got the better angle of bars for my liking. But as I said to you earlier, it's, you know, people will find it different, like you're okay with it. It's like my thumb's dead. Yeah, look at your handlebars. That one's straighter.
Yeah.
Where this comes back a bit more, so it's doing this to my hand. Shall we have them both?
Yeah. I think we should. I think they're two very different but very lovely bikes.
Yes. I think you'd need to ride them both.
Definitely.
But you certainly don't need the Hornet in sport mode all the time, do you?
No, it's fine in standard. I quite liked it in rain mode actually, how smooth it was.
I can't believe changing down these gears. It's like there's nothing in there. It's like you're just moving a springed lever.
Yeah.
And the slow speed around town on both of these is awesome.
It's ridiculously easy, isn't it?
Got a silver car coming up on the outside of us. Not anymore.
I was going to say, where's he intending to go?
Yeah, exactly.
This has gone back up to 2 bars since I said it, but
Oh, it grows petrol, didn't I tell you?
it's probably not worth chancing it, is it?
The Hornet's that good, it actually reproduces petrol.
Oh no, 1 bar. It heard you.
Yeah. Introducing the new Honda Perpetual.
It definitely smells better than it used to now. It's E10. The 10 smells better than the 5 to me.
We're doing a petrol review.
Yeah.
Do you ever see vehicles going around like that and think, oh, I'm going to have to, oh, I'm on a motorbike?
Yeah.
Oh, this road feels very like you're slipping, but you're not.
Yeah. I've got more confidence in these tyres than I do in the tyres that are on the CB650.
That might be what I was just feeling there. Maybe
Yeah.
they were tracking a little bit over the changing grip. Because yeah, you got the Road 5s on that one.
Yes. These ones feel much more planted.
Yeah, they're fantastic tyres. Oops, Daisy.
Whoops, what are you doing? I thought the aim of the game was not to frighten the horse.
I just give her a little friendly wave, not just a hand up, a couple of little flap flaps.
Yeah.
I went to cancel my indicators. Right, here we are after the ride, and we've ridden both of them. They're both fantastic bikes. The pluses of this bike is the suspension is much smoother over fast, heavy bumps. It's also a lazier, easier bike to ride. The negatives on this one is I personally find that when you get above about 5,000 revs, it gets very buzzy, and it buzzes through the handlebars and the foot pegs. Also on this one, when you change from first to second, it seems like the neutral is absolutely massive, and you just have to make sure you're more positive when you change up to second on this one. I do like the fact it's got heated grips, but these are just Oxford grips, so you can easily fit them yourself for about 60 quid. Tyres wise, not overly keen on these tyres. They're the Bridgestones. The tyres on this one, the Michelin Road 5s, much better. Power wise, they're a similar sort of power, but the way they deliver it is different. This one delivers the power much higher up, so if you want to get something out of this bike, you have to really take those revs a lot higher. But the gears on this bike, if you wanted to be lazy, even from 35-40 miles an hour, this particular bike, you can just throw it in 6th gear and it'll pull really nicely, although you won't necessarily get the engine braking that you would on this bike, or if you're in the lower gear. This baby, this is a happy puppy. This is very bouncy and yeah, come on, let's go. And it's absolutely fun to ride, and being the twin cylinder and the way they've made it fire makes it feel more like a V-twin. It's stonking power from low down. It's awesome. It doesn't take the gears as easily as that one does. You can pop that one in 6th gear at 35-40. If you try that with this one, it doesn't want to play. So you have to use the gears a little bit more. I like the fact that it's got the different riding modes to it. It's just a little bit too busy around here, but you do get used to it. It's a very small horn button, and fortunately this time I didn't actually put the hazards on when I put the indicators on. Or if you look at the switch gear on this one, everything's much bigger and it's laid out just a lot more simpler. Suspension on this, if you start to really open it up and you get over some quite rough roads, it is actually quite harsh and it's quite aggressive, and you do feel a bit of pounding through your spine. Maybe the suspension could be adjusted a little bit, but there isn't a lot of adjustment on these, and looks like there's none on the front of this one. So it would be worth considering maybe having the shock revalved, or maybe getting another shock absorber for it or something, because I think it would be worth it for the fun that you have on this bike, just to make that suspension a little bit more like that one. The brakes on both of them are pretty similar, but I've found for distance, if I was going to be riding these for distance, I would choose the Hornet. For some reason, the way these handlebars are laid out, it's actually much more comfortable on my hand, where after around 20, 30, 40 miles on that bike, I'm actually getting pins and needles in my fingers. And a couple of pupils have mentioned it, but not all of them. And I'm finding a similar thing. Me personally, the way these handlebars are laid out, they're not as comfortable as these handlebars. So overall, they're both amazing bikes, but given a choice personally, overall I'd probably choose the Hornet. I just still can't believe what you get in this package. And this SC Project exhaust is aftermarket, but it just sounds lovely, but it's not too loud. So pop along to Leanna's channel, say hello Leanna, because we've just done this dual upload and we've edited the things differently, and it might be nice to see what her conclusion of these bikes is. So feel free, like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.